righty.
Party, party.
Alrighty.
Party, party. Oh,
Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna start it over and we'll do a little abbreviated version of it.
okay. Oh, is that from earlier?
Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna start it over and we'll do a little abbreviated version of it.
Okay. Is that from earlier?
There we go. Okay. Alrighty then. All right. Okay. So we're live on YouTube.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Let me go on my phone so I can look at it and turn this one off.
You know what that music sounds like?
Oh, cool.
Like blue, kind of like bluegrass meets country meets harmonica.
I got to do something about that. I don't know what that's about.
You know what that music sounds like?
What's that?
Like kind of like bluegrass meets country meets harmonica.
Yeah, it's nature. It's nature something or other.
Makes me want to go to Louisiana.
Yeah, it's nature. It's nature something or other.
Makes me want to go to Louisiana.
Yes, it does. Okay, we're gonna do this thing. Okay, so we are live on YouTube.
Alrighty then, let's do this thing.
Got a new attitude. So, America, this is Tammy Morrison of Unleashing Your True Self, and I'm here with my guest, Dr. Meredith Watson, the Soul Journey Coach. So, tell us just a little bit about yourself, Meredith, and what you do, and what made you become a Soul Journey Coach.
Well, like Tammy said, I'm Dr. Meredith Watson. I'm a soul journey coach. Essentially, it's a psychoneuroimmunologist, which means I help you understand the root cause of your pain, whether it's emotional, physical, addiction, depression, whatever type of pain you have, discomfort, dis-ease. I help you understand the
Okay, so you're frozen? We have had all kinds of technical difficulties with this thing, y'all, and but we're gonna still get it done. We're gonna get her done. I'm excited to be here with my guest, Dr. Meredith Watson. I'm gonna tell you just a little bit about her. She is a soul journey coach, which is a healer. She works with those who have had consistent pain or addiction and have not been able to find consistent relief. The pain is there for all efforts, Western medicine, and they're ready to reach out to get a different kind of healing. She is there for you if you're struggling to find a resolution, if you need some coaching, if you need something to help you to move past all the pain and all the struggle. She's there for you, and that is what she does as a soul journey coach. So I'm hoping that she'll join me again. Oh my goodness. Are you back, darling? So what I'm doing here now is my Straight Out of Savannah Talking with Tammy podcast. I hope that you'll join me for the next week's edition of it. I'm very excited to bring this to you. I'm so thrilled that you're able to watch and join us here. Let's see. I'm trying to see how we can get this thing done. So let's see. Um, okay, so I lost Dr. Meredith. I'm hoping that she'll be able to come back on and talk about what she does as a soul journey coach. Thank you so much for joining. I'm absolutely loving that you're here for my podcast, Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi. And you might want to know, how did I come up with that name? I came up with that name because I am from Savannah, Georgia. And I'm so excited because I am a little black girl from Savannah, Georgia, doing a podcast spotlighting amazing guests that are here on this planet to help humanity. So I'm asking you that if you there's something that you would like to do to come on and uh, be on my podcast, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on Facebook, to reach out to me so that we can have a conversation, because I love to come on here and have organic conversations with beautiful souls, people that are here to help humanity. We get on here and we have a good time. We have a, I'm having a glass of wine. You might have a glass of water, a glass of tea, some coffee, or something, and we talk about what it is that you do that you can help humanity. So I hope to be doing this for a long time. I'm going to have weekly sessions, and I'm excited about that. So while I'm here, I might as well say a little bit about myself. In case you don't know me, my name is Tammi Morrison, and I am an intuitive empowerment diva. And my mission is to help women in their middle years, 45 and above, who are suffering from overwhelm, frustration, and fear with the transitions of life, including empty nest, including job transitions, including divorce, including death, and including anything that you want that's a transition in the middle of life. Because we know that as women, we change about every 10 years. We make transitions in our life. And so this is why I'm here, because I have successfully navigated so many of those transitions, and I have a heart for women to be able to help them to navigate those transitions as well. So what I do is I have breakout sessions where we come together and we talk about what it is that you want to do, and we begin to uncover things that sometimes you don't even know that you have. We begin to get to the root of the problem, and I give you solutions that you can do that are simple and that are effective. And then, of course, we pray. So I also have sessions that are clarity sessions, just things we come together and we just talk about things that you need to clarify in your life and ways for you to make those changes more seamless. And we get through the bumps and the bruises of the changes that we are making in our life. However, sometimes we require a little bit of assistance, and that's where I come in. Now, I also am a facilitator of sister circles in my local area. And my desire, my goal is to help women all over the planet. So I would love to get involved. And that's one of the things that I'm working on is virtual sister circles, because I would love to get involved with that and help sisters come together so that they can have a place, safe place, that they can talk and that they can be able to air themselves out and get um, help from the sisters and support, because working in the medical field over 27 years, I have seen so many situations that could be handled by people coming together and just being support of someone, just being able to talk to someone, being able to um, have someone that will listen to you without judgment, without judgment. And I'm also inviting you to join me on my page on Facebook, Unleashing Your True Self, and also join me in one of my groups, Live Your Truth, where we share. In that group, I have people that come in and provide value so that you can see. Because a lot of times we're going through transition and we're having all these issues. It begins to be physical issues. It begins to be it begins to be physical issues. It begins to be mental issues. And so many times it's because you need to share and you need some sisters to help you. You know, we'll do healing, we do all that kind of stuff. And so I'm just excited to be able to come on here and share that. So it looks like my guest is coming back. Hi, Meredith. Okay, so now let me.
I have no idea what happened.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we're back. I've been rambling and talking to the folks and just telling them who I am. So what I want you to do is tell them who you are.
Okay, third time's a charm. I am Dr. Meredith
Exactly.
Watson.
Do this
I,
thing.
I am a soul journey coach. I am also a psychoneuroimmunologist, which means that I help people understand the root cause of their pain, whether it's addiction, depression, grief, back pain, stomach pain, migraines, any kind of pain. I bet you $5 I can help you find the root cause and we can heal it holistically. The reason I got into this work is because within 16 months, I had 2 heart attacks, and I'm healthy, I'm young, I'm active, no real reason for me to have had them. And after doing deep work, a lot of research, talking with my cardiologist, the same one I've had since college, when was actually when I had my very first heart attack, I got to the root cause of why I'd had the heart attacks, that it was not health related at all whatsoever, that it was emotional trauma and unresolved emotions that I had not dealt with. And then when I looked around that time frame of having both heart attacks, both times I'd had a pretty bad falling out with my mom, who, if you know me any length of time, you know my mom is my heart and soul, like absolutely heart and soul. And we'd had an argument both times, and then other things. My life was under, the underpinning of my life, the foundation of my life was cracking at warp speed. Everything I knew to be true was coming apart. Just everything you could think of was happening. It was literally my spiritual awakening. And if you asked me 2 years ago if I'd be in this place now, I would have been so irritated that you minimized my pain, saying, it'll get better, it'll get better. But I'm here to tell you there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and looking through my soul journey, which is why I picked soul journey, because your soul is the only thing that goes with you lifetime to lifetime. It stays behind. It's really the connection you have with people. Like, people are connected at a soul level. That is not some frou-frou woo kind of phrase. It's kind of like meeting your best friend twin in another body, that soul connection. And I hope people get that kind of connection with themselves and then spread it out. And everything's a part of the plan. The worst, the best, the in between, it's all a part of your journey, all a part of your plan. And I also love the name Sojourner. And it's basically all it is, just this soul journey. Like, we're all on a soul journey. It's just
Yes.
a matter of how awake you are on your journey. Are you driving sleep, or are you fully awake, or halfway there, or wherever
Right.
you might be? I'm fully awake now, but 2 years ago, I was driving sleep.
Okay, so you said something that I thought was interesting. You said your cardiologist actually agreed with you that
Yes.
it was an emotional, almost like a breakdown.
Yes. Because he's been my cardiologist since I was 17, so 20 years when I had my first heart attack, and he knows my history, and he knows although I do have an addiction to carbs and bagels, it wasn't that. I'm very active. I do. I love bagels. I would kill for bagels. So I love food, but I'm very health conscious. Like I don't miss any meals, but what I do put into my body, minus the excessive carbs, is healthy. Fruits and vegetables, junk food is foreign in my house. We eat all organic. I exercise. You wouldn't know it since I work at home and homeschool my daughter, but I have stairs and I'm always busy. I'm always up doing something. So I'm always active. Heart disease runs on the male side of my family, but not the female side of the family. So it wasn't genetic. And I'm probably, unless, you count my grandma when she died, no one else, women in my family have heart trouble. All the men do, but not the women. So it was just looking at my history and realizing there was no medical reason for it. It
So,
was,
would you count it as a part of your awakening?
oh God, yes. It was so much a part of my awakening. It was probably the universe saying, I've been trying to give you subtle hints, my friend. So let me just knock you on yeah, on your butt. And I can remember, and this is usually how my story starts. My daughter was 4. We were sitting in my bedroom, and I remember clutching my chest. I was crying profusely. My mom and I had just had a terrible argument, and I was crying hysterically. And I remember thinking, I have to stop crying because I can't breathe. And the pain got worse, and it got worse, and I got worse. And it was my wake up call because being a single mom, for the most part, her dad lives 4 hours away. We're separated. Being that I'm the adult in the house, I have to be awake and I have to be alive. And
Yes.
there's nothing more fearful than having your 4-year-old daughter watch you struggle for air and having a heart attack in front of her. Now, granted, my daughter is very young. She's definitely an indigo child, definitely spidey senses. She is fully awake. So it did not phase her. People are like, oh, that's so traumatic. It wasn't for her. Like she was fine. And because of the way I'm raising her, I know that it was more of a learning thing for her. And I didn't really let on that I was having a heart attack. Like she probably thinks mommy was just crying a lot. But there was an awakening for me. Like, I've got to get my shit together because I have a child to raise.
Mm-hmm.
And I will not leave her motherless. I will not. Not if I can help it. So it was just a wake up call and then just doing the inner work. I had a mother's wound. Who would have thought? I'm obsessed with my mom, but that's the problem. And she's shattered me. And she's not awake, but she is. She better hurry up and wake up.
So, what would you say that mother wound healing is about?
Mother wound healing for me, it was about, naturally, the mother takes care of you. She
Mm-hmm.
nurses you to health. She nurses you with whether it's breast milk or bottled milk, but she feeds you, especially she takes care of you until you cannot take care of until you are able to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we are one of the few species that does stay with our mothers for that extended a period of time. Most animals, their parents just give them a few days or a month or two or a year at the most, and they're off on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Humans, our kids are with us for the most part 18 years. Some people are kids stay forever.
Too long. I'm
Way
sorry.
too long. Way too long.
Got to go. Love it.
Way.
Got to go.
Gotta cut the cord. For me, my birth mother, we never were connected. Like it's just she brought me into this world. That was her purpose in my life is to kind of be I call her the container that I use to get here.
Yes.
Like my jet to get from one realm to the next because we
Mm-hmm.
have absolutely no connection.
Got
Absolutely not. But my adoptive mom, even though I didn't meet her till I was 14, we are like you would know we weren't genetically connected if you didn't see us. She's white, but you would never know it. I mean, you would know she's white, but you wouldn't know we weren't genetically connected. We have such a deep bond. And that mother wound is about that feeling of security, that feeling of belonging, because your parents are technically your first friends. And that inner kind of wound with just feeling secure and feeling loved and feeling accepted, belonging, and feeling your worth. A lot of people, especially people who have mother issues, and I know you of all people understand, especially with your book,
Absolutely.
it's, it's that thing with your mother affects every other aspect of your life.
Yes, it does.
And if you don't have that instant connection with your primary caregiver, which in most cases is your mother, it can set the tone. And they've done studies, children whose parents, that people have their different feelings about getting a child who's crying. But there's certain studies that show if you leave your child and you don't attend to them, especially when they're crying, they don't know about being coddled, not coddled, but they don't know about being protected. And they grow up feeling like that abandonment. It's a lot of about abandonment. That can
Hmm.
happen with your father too, but your mother is supposed to, they always say the mother's love and, you know,
Mother is usually the primary caregiver.
exactly. And not having a close relationship with my birth mother. My grandmother was she was what people would call now a helicopter mother. Yeah,
Hmm.
she became like really involved in my life. But my adoptive mom, nobody it gets me like her. Like she is, by the way, we've had several lifetimes together. She's like the catalyst in my life.
So
Every lifetime we've ever had,
how
she
did
makes
she
the change.
how did she become your adopted mother at 14?
She was my high school guidance counselor.
Oh,
I
okay.
lost my father 2 weeks before I met her.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And she adopted me in her heart, and we had this instant connection. I didn't like her at first. And the reason is my soul recognized her. In every lifetime, she's the person who makes me change. She's my catalyst. She's actually my twin flame, but she's also my catalyst. And it's very important to understand what some people's role is in your life. If she
Yes.
had not done what she'd done, I'd probably still not be awake.
Right.
And even though it's painful, it's worth it. And I started to own myself. That was how I started to heal that mother wound, started to heal all my inner wounds with my inner child and everything. It's that soul wound of feeling abandoned,
Hmm.
feeling not worthy, feeling not enough, that I didn't deserve. And when I speak from a place of most of my clients or most people don't have what you want because you don't believe it's yours to have.
Let's expand on that a little bit.
Perfect example. Let's just say you're in a marriage. You're married to this guy. He's your third husband. But if you look at your pattern, you pick men who abuse you, who
Hmm.
hurt you, who
Yes.
talk down to you, who make you feel less than, who never acknowledge your worth.
Hmm.
And if you look back at your life objectively and look at it from an aerial view, you realize that's your pattern. But then you get to the root cause. Your father didn't appreciate you. You can never please him. You would be the A student and they'd wonder why you didn't get an A plus. You had a 3.9. They want to know why you didn't have a 4. Maybe
Right.
you have a narcissistic mother, or you are your expectations, you cannot fulfill them. So you don't feel like you deserve anything that's really yours to have. Or most of our issues, people think it's funny, but it's true, do come from the way we were raised and do come from our childhood and any trauma we experience.
Yes.
So not thinking that you deserve, like I'll give you a perfect example. One of my clients has a problem with her spine and her sciatic nerves. And it came down to her not feeling she was worthy of stability. Her
Okay.
husband's, her relationships, her finances, everything was just falling apart because she didn't believe she deserved to have this cradle of cushion of having enough, not just enough to pay the bills, but enough in that she had more than enough. Like it wasn't just paycheck to paycheck. She deserved to sleep well, to have great intimacy. A lot of women, and they're afraid to talk about it, they don't know how to be pleasured because they don't think they deserve pleasure. So they just lay there all bored and wishing it was over, disassociating because they don't believe that that is supposed to be something that you enjoy
Yes.
because you don't think you deserve joy. Or you ever have that friend you ask, what do you want to eat today? Oh, it doesn't matter where everyone else wants to go. Well, what color do you like? Whatever you get is fine. You gotta know what you like. I bet if I took you somewhere you didn't like, you'd know it. Just getting to that place where you know you deserve. Now, my friends hate to go out with me because I'd be like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. They don't have anything I like. Not to be annoying, but I love food. Food is life. I could talk all day about food. So I'm
Right.
going to enjoy it. It's all about knowing you deserve a good husband. You deserve well-behaved children.
I
Children
mean,
will be children, but you deserve well-behaved children. I do. My daughter will not embarrass me in the store.
it's a difference between it's to me it's like the difference between having a crystal burger and having an In-N-Out burger.
Yeah.
You guys have crystals where you are?
Yes.
Yeah, so you know. So having a crystal burger and having an In-N-Out burger. Now, I like
Yeah.
food too, so I'm gonna prefer In-N-Out burger because In-N-Out burgers are the bomb. Crystal burger, not so much.
Yeah. It's like, would you rather go to McDonald's for their Angus burger or Outback?
I'm gonna choose number two, Outback.
That's right.
Bomb.
Exactly. It's not. And if people get so like, I don't want to be a wet blanket, but it's okay to
No.
do that. And it was really prevalent for me when I do a lot of speaking engagements because I want to get the word out that it's okay to do the things that you love. But it was one of the women came up to me and she was like, you speak so well. And I was very grateful. I mean, I'm not haughty in any way. I was very, thankful that she said that. But it was funny that she made that point because one of the things I had to overcome was I was told all my life, I'm four eyes, fat, so, and I don't speak well. In fact, someone used to tell me all the time I talk like I have a mouthful of shit. And they literally said, you talk like you have a mouthful of shit. Well, how do you know what that's like anyway? But second of all, you have to rewire your brain.
Yes.
We have great speakers who won't come out and speak to people because they were told, you have a lisp. I actually like people with a lisp. They're so cute. So it doesn't bother me. And I think that people should talk in a positive, maybe they have a speech impediment. But if anybody's ever done any work, people with speech impediments, especially stuttering, is because they've always been stopped.
Yes.
They tend to be in their parents interrupt them, people interrupt them. So that's actually, and you can now talk to an audiologist. A lot of people who stutter, if you trace back, they were often the people who were interrupted. So their stuttering is really they're just always starting and they're not used to ever finishing.
See, my son actually dealt with that.
Hmm.
He started stuttering, and he went to about he was 3 year old kindergarten, something like that. They identified it, and because we lived in Auburn, Alabama, the daycare that he went to, Auburn speech therapist interned there, so he was able to get speech for free
Nice.
while he went there, and it was amazing. And then as he progressed in some of the grades, what they would do is they would have him going all around the school, speaking to the principal, speaking to the counselor, and all that stuff. And so when I sat down in one of the IEP meetings, one of the therapists told me, she said, you know what? She said, your son is amazing. She said, it would not surprise me if he were the first Black president. And I thought, that is amazing. But he would speak. And then later, he started acting like in the fifth grade.
Hmm.
So all after that, girl, if I had $1 for all the times I drove him to play practices and all this, because he was in all these different plays all around the town. He was on a billboard for a play. I mean, he did the damn thing, and he used to stutter.
Hmm. You can
So
overcome anything if you really want to.
I
You
thought
have
about
that
it.
tenacity.
Exactly. And the other part, but I always would encourage him.
Hmm.
And the thing is I wasn't shocked by it because his father stuttered too. But as I began to allow him to go through the therapy and I began to encourage him, and they would send home, stuff for him to do, and I would do it with them. And then, like I said, he had a speech therapist that was freaking amazing. and she would just have them going around to all kind of different rooms, the counselor and the principal, and speak and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
today, you would never know that that was a part of his reality when he was 3 and 4 and 5 and 7 years old. You
Because
know,
he had the right people helping him along. There are a lot
exactly.
of parents who won't, especially culturally, they won't ask for help. They won't say my child has an issue or I have a problem and I would or an issue or disease or a stuttering or whatever it is and I
Right.
want to get it fixed. Getting help is not, a lot of people stigmatize that, and it's there's nothing wrong with getting help as long as you're getting help and it's progressing, not getting help and it's still kind of enabling you, but when it's really making you grow and evolve and do the damn thing, which for me that was a big deal with wanting to help other people to break that stigma. You know,
Yes.
you may have had that trauma, you may have that pain, you may have that part of your life, but you can overcome it, you can get
Mhm.
through it. I'm not saying that in any way minimizes it, but as I tell people, I wasn't always a cusser, to be honest. I actually only started cussing after my grandmother died, and that was because I was angry. Now I really like certain words, so I use them. I have a 7-year-old daughter. Well, she'll be 7 in December. And people are like, oh, you cuss in front of your daughter. Not every day, not all the time. It's not like every other word out of my mouth. But what
Right.
I've told people is words are power. If you don't give it power, it won't have any room to breathe. It's like a fire.
Right.
When you finally suppress it, it has to go out. Now, I'm
Hmm.
not saying my daughter should go around cussing people out or anything,
I did.
but it's about power. It's about the power behind the word. Like there's a book and it's called Taking Control of Your Pussy or something. And I was like, oh, I can't have that book in my house. But it's all about the power that you give a word.
Right.
And it's just like the power that you give your trauma, the power you give whatever it is, whether it's domestic violence or growing up in an alcoholic family, or, people would never know the people that I grew up with versus who I came out to be and who they truly are behind closed doors. That song, that country song, No One Knows What Goes On Behind Closed Doors.
Yes.
You can overcome anything. And the one thing that drives me bonkers is people like, well, that was just the way I was raised. But if you know it's toxic and it didn't make you feel good, why would you perpetuate that toxicity and drama and keep using the excuse? Because that's really what it is, an excuse to stay stuck. I can't overcome it. Why not? Do you know how many incredible people? Oprah. I'm not a big fan of Oprah. I know that's like, wow, but I do like her
Uh,
story.
I'm gonna shut you off.
It's something about her that I love and something about her that annoys me. I don't know what annoys me, but it's something. But she does have a great
You
story.
no.
I know, right? What I don't like about her, my favorite, what you don't like about her is really a mirror for you, Meredith.
Mhm. Exactly. There you go.
But look at her story. She was molested. She lost her, stillborn son, but she's America. She's the first Black billionaire. So tell me that you can't overcome struggle.
See, the thing about that is, and this is the thing, and this is why I struggle with, for me, the word coach.
Hmm.
I don't really like it for me. So I was using it at one time, and then I decided I got to go back to healer
Yes.
because I just don't like coach. It's something about that word because for one thing, you know, I'm one of these people that says everybody has a story. We all have a story.
Yeah.
I can tell you mine, and you gonna cry
Hmm.
because it's a story. You can tell me yours, and I'll probably cry because it's a story.
Right.
Oprah's got a story. Hell, Bill Gates got a story. Everybody has a story. But I think
Exactly.
in the end is what do you do with it?
Exactly.
How do you let it define you or don't you?
I used
So
to tell my husband, you can use it as a catalyst for change, or you could use it as a reason to stay stuck. Stuck. It's
exactly,
up to you.
exactly.
Oh, well, I can't do this because X, Y, and Z happened. And I have two friends. I love them so much, but they are the people that remind me that everything you do is a choice. Oh,
Hmm.
Meredith, everything's not sunshine and roses. Um, you're preaching to the choir. I know it's not. But are you going to take your lemons and get all sour, or are you going to get all the ingredients and make a Boston sour? Like, what are you going to do with it? Like, I don't see the need. Like, I'm not saying not mourn and grieve and go do the work, but you can choose to stay stuck there. It's kind of like the people in the old days that had that big bath.
Mm-hmm.
You can be the first person who gets the cleanest, or you can be the last person who's wallowing in all the everybody's dirt, which is really gross. But I don't know how anybody felt that was clean.
And I tell people all the time, I say, they'll say, well, this happened and that happened. I said, well, honey, shit happens all the time.
Every day.
What you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
I used to tell my kids, I said, you either gonna barbecue or you gonna mildew. Make up your mind.
Yeah.
You can either, and my kids are funny, they listen to stuff that I say a lot of times, and of course they never say anything then, and later on they'll bring it back. Mom, you remember you said, you can either take your lemons and you can make lemonade, or you just throw the shit out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I would tell them. I said, we got lemons, we're going to make some lemonade. I'm like, I refuse to quit. I refuse to cave in. I refuse to give up.
That's right.
I might lay down for a little while and, whine a little. I might cry. Shit, I might roll on the ground and kick and scream. But when I finish, I'm going to get my ass up and start doing something.
Exactly. You can choose to sit there forever or not. Like, some people I will help them, and some people you cannot help them. And that's one of the things I have to realize. Everyone does not want to be helped. Everyone does not want to be saved. Some people just want you to listen. And I can listen, but if you're not going to do anything, the listening will come to an end because it's just, I'm perpetuating it. Like, what are you going to do now? Like, we sat, we prayed about it, we manifested, we lit the candles, we saged. Now what? What's the intention behind all this? You know?
So when do you come to a point when you say, okay, let's do a scenario. So somebody reaches out to you and said, hey, Dr. Watson, you're a soul journey coach, and I need a soul journey. I need some help. I'm dealing with, my mama died in the past, and my daddy didn't want me, and so I believe that all this is affecting my life, and so I can't never have a good relationship, and how can you help me?
I would kind of see if they're even open to change, because that would determine the trajectory of where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
I like to start off usually with asking the person, okay, so your father died. That's true. Or your mother left you on a doorstep in front of a church. Okay, that's true. Let's get together what's true.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean you're unlovable? No. Does that mean you're not worthy? No. What part of that is true and what part of that is a story? Because your mother gave you away, you means you're not worthy? That has nothing to, she didn't appreciate your value, or maybe she had her own story. Maybe that was the only part of the journey she was supposed to be a part of. Some people, we want them longer in our life than they're supposed to be. So we're upset when they leave, but you have no idea that maybe that's the only part in the play that is your life that they had a part in. Every character doesn't make it the whole season. Sometimes they got to be killed off or written out of the script. And you can bring them back. Look at Marlena from Days of Our Lives. How many times has she come back? But she has
Look at Sheila on the Young and Restless.
Oh my God, yes.
How many times we laughed since she had, right?
And people, everybody, that's really true. People have a season, but what you have to think about is what part is true. So you're in a bad relationship. Let's say you had an abusive father who used all the money to, fund his habit. Does that mean that you have a bad money story? That means the prelude to your story is jacked up. But
Yeah.
you can still be wealthy. You can still not use your funds for, a habit that isn't productive. I have a habit of buying crystals. That's not a bad habit. Now, if my habit was buying crystal meth, that would be a bad habit.
Different.
So you have to consider what your habit is and if it's a bad habit or a good habit.
Yes.
And does that mean that you can never have a good relationship with a man who isn't an alcoholic, who doesn't beat you, who doesn't hold you hostage, and you can decide, yeah, that's a part of your story. It's the first chapter. But it doesn't have to be the middle of the story, the end of the story. You can use it to spring off of.
Mm-hmm.
But if I go through these things of what's true, what's not true. And if you're not worthy, is it really true that you're not worthy? Oh
Right.
no, I'm not. Well, okay, if you're still here, you still have a purpose. If your heart's still beating, your eyes are still open, you're here to still do something. And you think about people, some people go through some hellacious things and they're still here.
Yes, they
They
do.
have a purpose.
Yes.
The guy that just died, he couldn't speak, he couldn't move. Four women married him. He had something.
Ooh.
I think it's Stephen
Oh,
Dawkins.
yeah,
Stephen,
the relativity guy.
yes. And I mean, of all the people, you can't ever argue you don't have a purpose. The man couldn't speak, he couldn't move.
But he
And
could think.
ex- exactly, he had a purpose. The
He had
world is a
purpose.
better place.
Yes.
And there's a guy who has a steel lung. He literally he spends most of his day in a box that breathes for him. He's an attorney, undefeated. We all have a purpose.
Yes.
So if we can get past the yes, that's part of your story, but what part of it's true and what part of it is not true, we can keep going. But if you're stuck in that, like I have a friend and she picks the craziest men. And I'm like, why don't you? And she goes from one man to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Why don't you take some time and figure out who you are
Yes.
before you go merging yourself with somebody else? Oh, well, I don't want to be, okay, how long were
She
you
doesn't want to be
just by
alone.
yourself?
Yeah, she don't
And
want
I
to be.
think some people are afraid to be alone.
Yes.
Like I'm not the marrying kind. I'll tell you right now. I was married for 12 years. Good guy. I'm not, it's not, wasn't all him. I'm not the marrying kind. But I had to know that about myself. So it's
Right.
not, you don't divorce somebody and say, well, it was him. You go to the next one. That didn't work. There's, look at the common denominator. You were in all of them. So what part did you play, my friend? And with kids, I wouldn't know that I'm a good mom, to toot my own horn, but I don't
You're
see how
supposed
people.
to.
I try to remind myself that I haven't put anybody in any dryers or anything. Everybody's fed, everybody's clean, everybody's good. But I am also honest with myself that I need me time. I cannot be on call mom 24/7. There's no way. Somebody's gonna die and it'll be me. But do I feel like I deserve that? A lot of moms like, oh, I can't. Well, you can't feed from an empty cup.
That's unrealistic.
Yeah,
And
I
the
don't want to
problem
do
is,
this, but you can't feed from an empty cup. It's
no,
true that you're a mom, but it's also true that you're a person. That's a pie of your life.
see, because you begin to feel like you don't you don't have anything left to you.
And when they're gone and they're living their life, what are you going to do? That's a lot of parents.
That's
I know you talk to that special population.
See,
What
and
do you
this is the thing. People ask me. I said I can speak to that, and I talk to people about that, and I have no problem even helping people to negotiate and navigate that stuff. But personally, I didn't go through emptiness. I was so glad my kids were grown and doing their own damn thing. I didn't know what the hell to do.
do? Mm-hmm. Because
Because
you've given so much of yourself.
I had already given them 200%. And I was like, how much more should I give?
Mm-hmm.
And how long are they supposed to live with me?
And ask
They
you
need
for
to
the
live in
stuff.
their own damn house and do their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so people ask me all the time, they're like, well, where are your kids? I'm like, my kids live in their own states. I was like, my daughter will be 29 next month, and my baby is 27. And then I raised another one that's 27. So I'm like, no, those kids all left home, at 17 and 19. They was gone. You know why? Because it was time for them to go.
And you prepared them for that. You
I
gave them the wings
prepared
to
them.
fly.
They did I did my part, and it was time for them to go. So did I feel bad when they was gone? I felt, I missed them. Now I can't say that I didn't miss them. I missed them. They've been a part of me for all those years. But did I feel bad about them leaving? Hell no.
Let me help you move. I'm going to go get some boxes for you.
Hey, I gave my daughter her first security deposit on her apartment because she wanted to go, and
Yeah.
you know, I helped her find a nice place in a decent area. I made sure lights were on for her and stuff like that. But it was time for. She said, "Mom, it's time for me to go." I said, "Sure, right."
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to go and be in your own place so that you can do what you want to do. Because you think you should keep my house nasty, and I'm not trying to have it, and you ain't paying no bills.
I don't think I'm going to have it either. I'm gonna miss her. I mean, if she decides to move, but
Yeah,
I'm
you,
ready for that transition. I'm not, because you cannot be your kid's friends and still. I don't. If anybody's managed to be their friend and they respect them at the same time, I am me because I just want you to respect me and I want to give you the right foundation. And then when you're on your own and I've done my part, we can be friends. We can hang out. Now I'm not going clubbing with my kids, but I will go to a concert. I will go to dinner. And the only
see,
reason I'm not going clubbing is because I don't club. Because I
see,
need to be able
I
to
was
see.
young. I was young. So
Yeah.
I grew up a lot with my kids,
Mm-hmm.
but I was their mother first.
Amen.
So, they respected me in ways that a lot of their friends didn't respect their parents.
You
Because
have to set
I
that
didn't
line.
play with them. I set boundaries. Now I gave them a lot of rope, and I did not raise them real tight. But I also taught them and I trained them so that they can make decisions, because that is one thing that's missing.
Hmm.
People, they give to their kids, but they don't teach them how to make decisions and allow them to make them, under a protection.
Right. In that bubble, that protection.
Right.
You have
You're
rope, but
there, and if you need to snatch them, you can snatch them, or you can
yeah.
say, no, you're not going to do this, but allow them to make decisions. And so that's what I did. I mean, even down to when they were young and they would ask me, well, what does such a word mean? I said, go get the dictionary and look it up.
Hmm.
Go look it up. And then when you look it up, you come back and talk to me and we're going to talk about it. And to me, that was teaching them how to fish,
Exactly.
because I could give them fish all the time, as opposed to, and I probably can't say this on the air, but as opposed to other people's children that they don't know how to do nothing because nobody taught
Right.
them how to do anything. They're
And they don't know
grown,
how.
they're in their 20s and don't know how to do nothing.
Exactly.
Couldn't even pay a bill, don't know how to, barely cook, things like that. And
You
I thought,
have to be able to live. And that's the other
oh,
thing with teaching, with your path, with your journey. What part of it is up to you? Like and there's
yes,
this great video by I call him Fresh Prince, but he has a real name, Jada Pickett Smith's husband.
Will,
Thank you. Yeah, Will Smith. He'll always just be Fresh Prince. But Will Smith has this 2-minute video, and I give it to my clients all the time. Fault versus responsibility.
mm-hmm,
It's not your fault that you had an addictive parent. It's your
right,
responsibility not to follow in their footsteps.
yes,
It's not your fault that your mom is crazy.
right,
It is your responsibility not to also be crazy with your kids and not to perpetuate that negativity.
yes,
It's not my fault that people tend to migrate to me and want to suck me dry. It's my responsibility to protect my energy.
yes,
So you have to decide what part's your fault and what part's your responsibility. I've been divorced, not me personally. You could have been divorced 4 times. That may not be your fault. Your responsibility is to find the common denominator in where was your responsibility, not fault. Where was your responsibility in the demise of the marriage? People have to be careful about the language that you speak to yourself in. Oh, I'm a terrible person. I can't even hold a marriage together. Maybe you're not the Marion County. You've been forcing yourself.
right.
You have 8 kids, but you ran 6 off of a bridge. Maybe you should have stopped at 1 to see how that worked out. That's why my child's an only child. Because I know the second, third, and fourth child wouldn't, it'd be something different. But you have to just stop running the race and try to figure out a strategic plan to get to the finish line. Because you can get to the finish line, but you miss the journey.
So that's what you basically help your clients do.
Navigate the journey, basically. Navigate the journey. Kind of figure out 3 heart attacks before you're 35. I need to figure out what I'm doing.
Right.
What's the common denominator? The
Mm-hmm.
common denominator is I had to learn to stand on my own 2 feet. I had to learn to be stable. And I'm not saying people paid my bills because I've always been independent, but you can be codependent in other ways. Like I paid my own bills, I put myself through college, grad school, always been independent. But I tend to when I love somebody, yeah. But it's part of that was codependency.
Mm-hmm.
Looking outside, this was a big thing with my mother wound. Looking outside of myself for validation, for love, feeling of belonging, acceptance. I wouldn't move until my mom stamped her approval on it. I was
Mhm.
going to move my whole wedding till she came back from her cruise.
Wow.
I I didn't even tell her I was having a baby. She found out when my daughter was like 2 weeks because she didn't like my husband. So it was like, yeah, he's got a half of hers, you know? So stopping the need for that outside validation to look with it, because, and this is the thing that and this is probably why I have the same question with coaches that you do. It's, you don't need a coach. You don't need everything you need is within you.
Yeah.
What I do, and I'm sure Tammi will concur, we are kind of the light that kind of helps you as you navigate through it.
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't need anything. You
Yes.
have it all within you. We're just kind of
Yes.
there to help bring it to to bring it to the surface. Like, yeah, you are worthy. See, you are awesome. See, kind of
And
be
help
that
you
extra set of
discover.
eyes.
Yes.
Exactly. We're kind of like the detectives, which is funny because my maiden name is Holmes and I married a Watson. But it's kind of like
Oh, that's cute.
we're kind of the detectives. Oh, and my initials are MJ, so I'm also Spider-Man's girlfriend. But
Okay.
we kind of help you excavate and discover.
Yes.
You may not have ever thought that you can't walk because you have a problem with stability.
Yes.
Literally no leg to stand on. And I'll give you this example and then I'll turn it back to Tammi, but I twisted my ankle. I'm really not klutzy. I was called klutzy for a long time and I believe that. Oh, I can't do that because I'm klutzy. I can't do that because I'm clumsy. I'm not. I walk fast because I'm trying to get somewhere. I go too fast so I have slippery fingers. Like really investigate. But I twisted my ankle and I wouldn't tell anybody because I was embarrassed. I walked around like a week with my foot swole up. It wasn't swollen, it was swole up. It was it was huge. It was ridiculous.
How did you put shoes on?
I put on boots, like man boots. I was trying to be one of the boys, and you know how when they're doing basketball they jump up on the wall? Everybody's not meant to jump up on the wall.
No, you're
And
not.
I did that and my foot was like, "Oh girl, no. No, not having it." So it twisted it. But it was also me trying to be like fit in and blend in. You're not supposed to blend in everywhere. Be the red in a sea of white.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really funny because my husband is like really, really pale white. Like he can leave a streak in milk. So people always think that I mean that with him, but it's really not. But anyway, you have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And that took me from trying to be so independent. I had to walk and I wasn't because I thought I was clumsy. I didn't get crutches. I got a walker. So here I am, 15 with like an 80-year-old walker going through the high school. I thought I wanted to die. I was like, can anybody put me on homebound? Of course, back then, only people on homebound were pregnant people. So here we go with another thing. People are gonna think I'm pregnant and I just I just tripped.
Right?
So you can just keep building on that story, but you have to at one point decide you're the narrator of your own story. You're the author. You
Yes.
might not have started the dedication and made the first ink blot in the book, but at
Mm-hmm.
some point you have to take the pen and decide F you people. I'm writing my own story and it's gonna be one crap of a it's gonna be a #1 Amazon bestseller.
Yes.
It's gonna be the best thing ever.
Yes.
By the way, this is water in this cup, but it's about to be something different. I can't believe I
I was
drank all of it.
going
I'm
to
so proud
say,
of myself.
I had wine, but I've since run out. And so now I have water. But so what we're gonna do, we're gonna wrap it up because it's getting about bedtime.
And if they only knew how long we were talking before we ever pressed
Right?
record.
Talking for almost 2 hours. But it's been so amazing. This conversation has been even beyond my wildest imaginations.
Mine too. Mine too.
I've been looking forward to it for probably a couple of weeks since we scheduled it. And
Yes.
it's been overwhelming. And we actually started broadcasting on Facebook, but Facebook was acting crazy. So I said, you know what? We're going to broadcast on YouTube. So we are live on YouTube right now. And this is the first time that I've done live. Well, it's the second time that I've done live on YouTube. And I'm kind of excited about it because I believe that, it's going to be more people that are able to watch and
Yeah.
see, just what Dr. Meredith Watson, the soul journey healer,
Yes. Totally.
soul
Absolutely.
journey healer is able to do and how she can help them in their life. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to let Meredith punch in, or she can send me her information. I'll punch it in the
Okay.
comments down there because I've got it on my tablet looking at it so I can kind of see how it looks. But anyway, I want to thank you for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah, talking with Tammi. You might wonder how did I come up with that name? Because I am straight out of Savannah, Georgia, little black
Whoop,
girl,
whoop.
making it big, doing the thing. And you're talking with Tammi, who is me, Tammi Morrison, of Unleashing Your True Self. And I'm on a mission to help women to navigate the transitions of life in middle adulthood. So we're going to end it here. I want to thank my guest, Dr. Meredith Watson, soul journey coach slash healer, I think is how she had it. And she's going to put her details in the comments so you can know how to find her. And she'll even provide a link for a freebie.
Yes.
Okay. And then also some of, one of her paid services that she's recommended to you as well. So thank you so much for
Thanks
joining
so
us.
much.
I have enjoyed this immensely.
Me
It's
too.
been amazing. I think I got something different. I think I'm going to be streaming online on YouTube, and we just going to post it to Facebook. How about that?
That sounds good. A lot of viewers that way.
Exactly. I mean, what else can we do? I can't, make Facebook do right, right?
It's just like a person. You can only make them do so much.
Only so much. Exactly, exactly. Even as a healer, you can work with them, you can pray for them, you can have them doing meditations, you can have them journaling, you can have them lighting candles, you can have them lighting Palo Santo and sage all together, all at once, but you still can't make them do right.
That's right. They have to have the right intention.
Exactly. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and we're gonna sign off here. And I'll be on again next week, and I'll actually probably it might be Tuesday.
Oh, cool.
So thank you so much for joining. Look
Thank
out for
you.
me, and I'll be doing Straight Out of Savannah, talking with Tammi podcast, and I am so excited for being here. Bye now.
Bye bye.
Okay, so our recording is over, and I'm about to